How's it going, everybody? Mr. Moki Moki back again. And we got it. We got episode 20. It's been 20 weeks. Or has it been 20 weeks? Maybe it's been 21 weeks. Because we had a skip. Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're always right. But, episode 20. I think we're 5 episodes away from a new opening. And I'm excited. Overall, what I think about this episode is I think it was pretty solid. Um, Though I do find that Yusaku's win was kind of bullshit, but whatever. Um, yeah. So when you think about it, when you get to the end of the episode, I'll just talk about that real quick. A lot of people were already suspecting like Dr. Kogami, um, and I mean, yeah, right. Like people were already suspecting that Dr. Kogami was Revolver's father. And I guess that wasn't really hard to figure out, I guess. I mean, we've seen him in the background, we've seen him do stuff. He's the one who wants to get rid of the cybers and stuff. Um, so, yeah. I'm interested to see where the plot ends up going. But other than that, I don't really think I can really talk about much without delving too deep within speculation territory. And I can speculate for days, but you know, is it worth to speculate right now? Who knows? Um, but overall, the episode was solid in my eyes. I don't think it was better than last week's episode. I don't know. Last week's episode just had me by the balls. Okay, let me tell you something. But the stuff that was done in this episode, like the visuals were still really good. At least for Yusaku's monsters side. Like the way that Firewall Dragon attacked with Tempest attack, like he jumped up into the air and like slowly his wings were like forming into his like Tempest attack. I don't even know what you would call that. That like so like honestly, it looks like it was something out of G Gundam. I'm not sure if you guys have ever watched G Gundam. Probably one of my favorite Gundams, honestly. When Domon's God Gundam is like burning attack. But yeah, that's what it reminds me of with that circle behind it. And then Tempest attack is interesting. Um, Funny enough, a Tempest is like a perfect storm. And then when Firewall Dragon comes back, it's like in fire. And I keep talking about this because I think elements are very important here. When you think of the wind and like the song, like with the wind and stuff like that, I'm pretty sure it's supposed to represent Yusaku and like speed dueling. Like you're riding the wind, you're riding the data storm, and Yusaku is supposed to, I think, represent like an element of the wind. Um, and I'm not sure if there would be many that would disagree with that. Um, but I would like to think that elements play an important role in this series. Because when you think about it, like Firewall Dragon coming out in flames is a real representation of no, I wouldn't say it doesn't represent Yusaku, but it could represent his rage, because that's what we instinctively think of when we think about like fire, like it represents rage or anger and stuff like that. Um, so like Yusaku was very angry in this duel, and there was no speed dueling, so obviously there wasn't going to be any wind. But there was Yusaku's rage, and we do get to see like his anger kind of go out, and I guess be represented by this fire that Firewall Dragon represents, I suppose. Um, Sounds really weird to say, but I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm thinking too much about it, but I know that the wind has a big role to play in the symbolization or the theming of this series. Even you even get that with Revolver at the end of their duel with Yusaku. He says the wind didn't blow for me today, um, and it's interesting because I definitely do want to know more about how the artistic side and the writers are using these elements like flames and the tsunami in the last duel and the tornado. Like there's like tsunamis, there's flames, there's the wind. But yeah, I mean I think I'm spending too much time on this, but I'll move on. Uh, Through like the symbolism of this duel was a battle of ideologies. Yusaku obviously fighting for revenge, and I talked about this last week. And then Akira saying, like, you can't just envelop yourself in revenge. Akira is trying to save Yusaku from himself, and that's a very noble effort. Um, and Yusaku starts spouting justice, that his justice is the one that will win. And honestly, I'm not sure if I was too happy with the way that he kind of won. Um, like the way that he represented his justice, and he just said, because I am justice and I will win, kind of represents Batman in a sense if you think about it. But I won't delve into that. Akira, I think, gives a more modern way of looking at revenge in this duel. He's like, you can't envelop yourself in revenge. And Akira is, in a sense, you can kind of look at it like Akira is meddling in stuff that he doesn't really have a right to meddle in, um, or at least in Yusaku's eyes. We can debate that. Is what Akira doing noble, or is he just sticking his nose in where he doesn't belong? Um, and Yusaku would argue that he is sticking his nose where he doesn't belong, and that's why he needs to lose. Um, and Yusaku says at the end of this duel, which I think is represented nicely, he doesn't want anybody brought down into darkness from his own revenge. He understands what his revenge is, and we've talked about this before. He has nothing. He wants to produce his revenge without bringing anybody down with him. And Akira was meddling in stuff that Yusaku didn't want. Like Yusaku didn't want Akira's help, and Akira was like, "I want to help you." And I think this is important because I don't think we've ever had this really in a Yu-Gi-Oh series before, um, where you don't have to accept help if you don't want it. And especially in our society, we have the right to refuse help. Um, if if you need a blood donation to live, you still have the right to be like, no, I don't want that blood donation. Whether it be for religious or moral reasons or ethical reasons or just because of who you are. And I'm not going to get into any of the like political stuff, but just for whatever reason, you have the right to deny it. You have the right to deny help, and maybe that's what Yusaku is trying to say. He doesn't want your help, Akira, because he wants to do this by himself. And if he accepts your help, he will be bringing you down with him, and he doesn't want to hurt anybody the way that he's been hurt simply because of what's happened to him. Um, so yeah, and the symbolization with the angel and the hound and stuff. I'm honestly, I kind of felt weird to me that Yusaku would go to such lengths to like return the hound and the angel from the graveyard to the hand. It kind of, I don't know, it didn't really sit well with me. Like, I understand that the symbolism of there is there, and I enjoy the symbolism. Don't get me wrong, I love the symbolism. But I don't know. And then Blue Angel trying to protect Akira, but Akira ends up protecting her instead by like covering her blast, or covering her from the blast. Which visually, by the way, like I'll say it again, which was one of the best visual representations in this episode. I think one of the best in the series. I'm not sure if I would say it is the best, because I really like that Decode Talker slash at the end of last week's episode. But we've had some pretty good visual representations, and I think that Firewall Dragon attack up there was up there. Um, yeah, and so there you go. And I'm sorry if I'm rambling, but I just really wanted to address this because I feel like this duel was definitely a battle of morals. And Yusaku obviously won the duel battle, but did he win the moral battle? And in Yu-Gi-Oh, duels usually represent a battle of ideologies. And I think that Yusaku's ideology winning the duel um, is a little, I don't know, unconventional to me, because I think most people would agree with what Akira is saying, but at the same time, at the end of the duel, you get a sense that maybe you agree with Yusaku as well. Like, you might not agree with revenge, but you can agree with, if he's gonna do a revenge, he should leave people out of it, and I think that's kind of respectable in a way. Um, and I'm not sure if people agree with me on this, um, but yeah, just another reason that, like, people keep comparing Yusei to Yusaku, and honestly, I don't even make those comparisons anymore because we are way past that. Yusei has nothing on Yusaku's character at this point in time, and we're not even halfway through the series. Um, so yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below, and I will talk to you guys later. Peace.